Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Anadam Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtiki Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sati Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 15, Text 4. Sorry, can you just please excuse me for a moment? Just Deva Deva Jagadhata Lokanatha Shikhamane Paresham Aparesham Svam Bhutanam Asibhavavit. O God of the demigods, sustainer of the universe, head jewel of all the demigods and other planets, you know the intentions of all living entities in both the spiritual and material worlds. So because Brahma is almost on an equal footing with the personality of Godhead, he is addressed here as the God of the demigods. And because he's the secondary creator of this universe, he's addressed as the sustainer of the universe. So whenever there is some problem in the universe which the demigods are not able to control, they always go to Brahmaji because he is the secondary creator of the universe. You know, he's their superior. They don't approach Krishna directly. They always go to Brahmaji, and then if Brahmaji can solve the issue, he solves it. If he cannot, he says, okay, let's go to Krishna. So he is the head of all the demigods, and therefore he's addressed here as the head jewel of the demigods. It is not difficult for him to understand everything which is happening in both the spiritual and material worlds. He knows everyone's heart and everyone's intentions. Therefore, he was requested to explain this incident. Why was the pregnancy of Diti causing such anxieties all over the universe? So since Brahmaji is the creator of the universe, he knows all the living entities. He's following Krishna's plan, basically. So Krishna has given him this understanding of what's happening inside in the universe. Like, for example, a CEO of a big company, although he's not doing all the work, but he knows what all his subordinates are doing. You know, he knows that. So to explain what's happening, they went to Brahmaji. But of course, I don't understand why it's mentioned for him to understand what is happening in the spiritual world. So, of course, he did say the Brahma Samhita prayers. Yeah, okay. So it's because he's a pure devotee of Krishna. Then Krishna let him see the Golok Vrindavan. And so that's how he can understand what's happening in the spiritual world, because this revelation is also given by Krishna. Okay. Is that okay?
Yes.
So reading on, text 5. Namo Vijnana Viryaya Maya Yedam Upe Yushe Grihita Guna Bhedaya Namaste Avyaktan Yonaye. O original source of strength and scientific knowledge, all obeisances unto you. You have accepted the differentiated mode of passion from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. With the help of external energy, you are born of the unmanifested source. All obeisances unto you. So the demigods are also appropriately praying to Lord Brahma. They're not just immediately going to him and saying, okay, I'm in problem, help me. First, always the glorification is there, the appropriate glorification. Even we see the prayers of the acharyas when they're praying to Krishna, or even when Brahmaji approaches Krishna, when, Arjuna was approaching Krishna, when the Brahmastra was coming, he's first offering very nice prayers to Krishna, glorifying his position, and then he's putting forward his request that, okay, I have this request, the Brahmastra is coming, please save me. So the Vedas are the original scientific knowledge for all departments of understanding, and this knowledge of the Vedas was first impregnated into the heart of Brahma by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Knowledge. We are all wanting knowledge, Gyan. Everybody wants Gyan. What is this Gyan actually? Vijnana Vira, yeah. So knowledge, Gyan. Then the original Gyan is given by Krishna. And that Gyan is given by Krishna to Brahmaji in his heart. That is the Vedas. That is what is Vedas. And that's why it's called scientific knowledge. Not only Gyan, but Vigyan. Yeah, there's a difference, Gyan and Vigyan. The knowledge which can be applied, that is scientific knowledge. The practical application of knowledge, that is science. That's why Krishna consciousness is a science. The knowledge, what we learn, we can apply it and experience it and see the results. Therefore, Brahma is the original source of all scientific knowledge. He's born directly from the transcendental body of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, who is never seen by any creature of this material universe, and therefore always remains unmanifested. So Garbhodakshai Vishnu is not seen. We can't see him. So that's why he's called unmanifest. Brahma is stated here to be born of the unmanifested. He's the incarnation of the mode of passion in material nature, which is the separated external energy of the Supreme Lord. So we know that Brahmaji is one of the Guna avatar. That Krishna has the 3 Guna avatars of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So goodness is Lord Vishnu, passion is Brahmaji, and ignorance is Lord Shiva. And then the material nature. What is the material nature? Material nature is Krishna's separated energy, his external energy, his Bahirangi Shakti. So material nature also belongs to Krishna. Reading on. Ye tva nanyena bhavena bhavayanti atma bhavanam atmani prota bhuvanam param sad asad atmakam. O Lord, all these planets exist within yourself, and all the living entities are generated from you. Therefore, you are the cause of this universe, and anyone who meditates upon you without deviation attains devotional service. So the demigods are continuing to glorify Brahmaji, because he's the secondary creator after all, He's the most intelligent person in this universe. Brahmaji is the most intelligent person, and he's a pure devotee. Our Brahmaji is a pure devotee, right now, this universe that we are in, and our Brahmaji, that's why we are coming in Brahma, Madhva, Gaudiya, Vaishnav, Sampradaya. It's starting from Brahmaji. That's why it said, whoever meditates upon you attains devotional service. So even if somebody's praying to Brahmaji, what is the goal? To get bhakti. So we say that bhakti is what we need to do, hearing and chanting. Tesham supakva yoganam jita swasendriyat manam labdha yusmat prasadanam na kutaschit parabhavaha. There is no defeat in this material world for persons who control the mind and senses by controlling the breathing process, and who are therefore experienced mature mystics. This is because by such perfection in yoga, they have attained your mercy. Okay. The purpose of yogic performances is explained here. It is said that an experienced mystic attains full control of the senses and the mind by controlling the breathing process. So what is the aim of by yoga? What is a yogi trying to do? Trying to control the mind and the senses. And how is he doing that? By the pranayam, by breathing process. Therefore, controlling the breathing process is not the ultimate aim of yoga. The real purpose of yogic performances is to control the mind and senses. So the yogi, he is controlling the breath so that his mind and senses can be controlled. That is the aim of yoga, not only to do the pranayam. Anyone who has such control is understood to be an experienced, mature, mystic yogi. So it means anyone who's able to control their mind and senses is considered that he is a mature yogi. Okay, he's because the aim of yoga is control mind and sense. And if somebody is able to control mind and sense, okay, so he's a yogi. It is indicated herein that a yogi who has control over the mind and senses has the actual benediction of the Lord, and he has no fear. In other words, one cannot attain the mercy and benediction of the Supreme Lord until one is able to control the mind and the senses. So Krishna's mercy, if we want to attract Krishna's mercy, we have to control our mind and senses. How to do? Okay, now how to control the mind and senses? This is actually possible when one fully engages in Krishna consciousness. A person whose senses and mind are always engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord has no possibility of engaging in material activities. So what shall we do with the mind? Just yesterday I was hearing a class by Guru Maharaj, and so I raised the question, because there are so many desires, and so the mind is always troubling. So then he said, okay, the function of the mind. What is the function of the mind? Thinking. We have so many thoughts. We think, I want to do this. And then feeling, oh, I'll feel nice if I do this. And willing, yes, I'm going to do it. When we come to the stage of willing, then nothing can stop us. Then we are going to do. But with intelligence, with higher intelligence, we need to control the mind. How to get that intelligence? Read from the Shastra, hear from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, chant the holy name. Then what happens? We are able to control the mind. Then what is the mind? What are we supposed to do with the mind? Fix the mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. What does it mean to fix the mind on the lotus feet of Krishna? Means always think of Krishna. Oh, Krishna, how can I please Krishna? What shall I do? Maybe Krishna will be pleased if I do this. Let me see. Let me do what I'm doing in a way which will be pleasing to Krishna. And also chant Hare Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna is the easiest way to control the mind. So this is what was the thing. So then a person whose senses and mind are always engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord has no possibility of engaging in material activities. So what does it mean? That the activity will be the same, but because the intention is different, the activity is the same. For example, cooking activity. I'm cooking for myself. I'm going to enjoy it. It's so good. That's a cooking activity. So it becomes a material activity. Now the same cooking activity, I'm cooking for Krishna. He'll be so happy. Let me try to put some ingredients which is going to be pleasing to him. Offer it to Krishna. It becomes spiritual. So we don't need to give up anything. We just stay in our position, chant Hare Krishna. And somehow or the other get the desire. I want to go back home, back to Godhead. Just somehow or the other get the desire, Krishna will fulfill that one desire. Krishna will see, he wants to come back to me. Oh, she wants to come back to me. He will make the arrangements. The devotees of the Lord are not defeated anywhere in the universe. It is stated, Narayana Para Sarve, one who is Narayana Para, or a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is not afraid anywhere, whether he is sent to hell or promoted to heaven. This is coming from Bhagavatam Canto 6, chapter 17, text 28. So we are always fearful, always fearful. We each have different fears, you know. Something might be very fearful to me, and you might say, what? Why are you afraid of that? I'm not afraid. You're such a fearful person. But then you might have your own fears, you know. We each have so many fears. Now, a pure devotee, a Narayana Para devotee, a pure devotee of the Lord, he's not afraid. He's not afraid to going to hell or heaven, anywhere. Why? Why is he not afraid? Anyone?
Krishna's will, because he knows that it's Krishna's will. Even if Krishna wants to keep him in hell, that is for his good. He doesn't care. He just wants that Krishna should be happy. Krishna's will, he accepts the Krishna's will. So he doesn't care anything else than Krishna's will.
Yes.
And he has full faith on Krishna.
Yes.
I would say Krishna is with him. That's why. So he knows that Krishna is with him.
Yes, both of you are right. Thank you. Wonderful. Yes. Yes. Krishna's will, for the pleasure of Krishna, full faith in Krishna, and Krishna is with him. Yes. Both. Thank you so much. Any questions or comments till now, what we've been reading?
Yeah. Yesterday, like what you mentioned is that Krishna Krishna keeps the जो भक्त होते हैं उनको कृष्णा सब कुछ उनके लिए करता है, उनको glorify करवाते हैं, right? So yesterday that was the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, and I have never seen Mukunda Prabhu, how Krishna gave him the opportunity to speak. He represented ISKCON there, and he gave such a wonderful speech. He touched so beautiful aspects of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was a small speech, but he has covered everything. He spoke about Bhagavad Gita. He spoke about Bhagavatam. He got those points and how beautifully he glorified Lord Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada, and everything, and how beautifully he expressed about the ISKCON there. It was really beautiful. So that's how, like, Krishna is there. Like, you know, sometimes we feel that disheartened or something, nahi, but we forget that Krishna is there. Krishna is always there, and the devotees are there always to glorify him, and he gives chance a devotee to be glorified, and everybody really appreciated it.
Wonderful.
That was like the highlight. That was the highlight of the function, I must say. That was the best part of the function.
Yeah, I saw that also.
Yeah, because I was there. So I could feel the vibes when he said Hare Krishna. So, you know, it was so beautiful.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So nice to hear. Yes, Krishna is with all of us. You know, he's in our hearts. We just have to turn to him. You know, Krishna is here, waiting for us. What is Krishna's will actually? We all say, let's surrender to Krishna's will, right? What is Krishna's will? What does Krishna want?
Krishna wants us to come back to him.
We've
forgotten him.
Thank you. Yes, that's all. That's all. That's
what the right answer.
Yes, yes, that's perfectly correct. That's all that he wants. Thank you so much. Yeah, he just wants us to come back, like a parent, or when he sees the child is just loitering about, suffering. The parent feels sad. Why are you suffering? You know, I can give you everything. Come, just come home. That's what Krishna is waiting. When are you going to come back to me? I'm waiting for you. He's waiting for each and every one of us. And that is Krishna's desire. That's Krishna's will. You know, thank you so much. So, reading on, text 8, Yasya Vacha Prajasarva Gavas Tanta Yeva Yantrita Haranti Balim Ayatas Tasmai Mukhyayate Namaha. All the living entities within the universe are conducted by the Vedic directions, as a bull is directed by the rope attached to its nose. No one can violate the rules laid down in the Vedic literatures. To the chief person who has contributed the Vedas, we offer our respect. The Vedic literatures are the laws of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we say why we must read the books. What are the books about? Why should I read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita? Why should I read? Well, these are the laws which the Supreme Lord is given. All the Vedic, all the Vedas. Why is given? The Vedas Krishna spoke is like a manual that we receive when we buy a gadget. We buy, suppose, a laptop. Then we'll get a help menu, how to use this properly. So the Vedas are given similarly. How shall we live in this world? And all the Vedic literature, the Vedas are so vast. All the cream of the essence of the Vedic literature is put in the Bhagavatam. So means if we are hearing Bhagavatam, we are reading all the Vedas. And then even Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the Vedic literatures. So by just reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, we are understanding what are the laws of the Lord. One cannot violate the injunctions given in the Vedic literatures any more than one can violate the state laws. Any living creature who wants real benefit in life must act according to the direction of the Vedic literature. So one might say, why shall I listen to the Vedas? Why shall I listen to these books? I don't want all this. I can just think whatever I want to think. Fine, that's okay. We have our choice. But what happens? For example, we live in a country. We have to abide by the laws of the country. Any sane citizen, respectable citizen, what does he do? He abides by the laws of that country. If not, then he's reprimanded. He's either penalized, reprimanded. But if the citizen is a respectable citizen, he'll say, I will follow the laws. Similarly, if we want real benefit, we should live according to the Vedas, the Vedic life, according to the instructions of Krishna and Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. And what is that instruction right now in Kali Yuga? Anyone?
Hear and chant.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. What do we chant?
The Lord's name, Hare Krishna, Maha Mantra.
Yes.
The Maha Mantra.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. So he's made it so easy for us, So instead of reading, we don't need to, otherwise we'll spend years and years reading the Vedas. He's put everything nicely in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And then he came 500 years ago to tell us, okay, you just hear and read from Bhagavatam and you take this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and you chant. And in that way, you can just come back home, back to Godhead. The conditioned souls who have come to this material world for material sense gratification are regulated by the injunctions of the Vedic literature. Sense gratification is just like salt. One cannot take too much or too little, but one must take some salt in order to make one's foodstuff palatable. Those conditioned souls who have come to this material world, should utilize their senses according to the direction of the Vedic literature. Otherwise, they will be put into a more miserable condition of life. So sense gratification is like salt. What does it mean? Now, if we make a very good buffet, but there is no salt in it, we won't enjoy it. We'll still feel hankering, not satisfied. If we put salt in, nice. Similarly, we cannot totally say, I don't want any sense gratification. Artificial. We cannot artificial stop the senses from gratification. We need. So, but what to do? How to gratify the senses? Follow the Vedas. What is the Vedas saying? There are certain do's and don'ts. What are they saying? Don't indulge in intoxication, gambling, meat eating, and illicit sex. And then what can you do? You can engage your senses, connect them to Krishna. You can use your hands, legs, eyes, everything for Krishna. Not that we don't have to do anything and sit down in one place like a mummy. We are not dead. We have life. We are going to move around. Just connect those things to Krishna. No human being or demigod can enact laws like those of the Vedic literature because the Vedic regulations are prescribed by the Supreme Lord. So who has given these laws of the Vedas? Who has spoken the Vedas? It's no human being, nor a demigod, only Krishna. Because we are all going to make mistakes. We are going to cheat each other. We are in the material world. We have this material body. We are defective. But Krishna is not. He's the Supreme Lord. His knowledge is perfect knowledge. His Gyan is perfect Gyan. And his Gyan is given to us in the Vedas. That's what it is. And so that's why we follow the Vedas. And by hearing Bhagavatam, we are hearing the cream of the essence of all the Vedic literature. And what does Bhagavatam say? What does Bhagavatam say? Bhagavatam says that in this age of Kali Yuga, there is one great thing that is there, and that is the Lord's holy name, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's what the Bhagavatam says. So we chant Hare Krishna and we go back home. That was the essence of yesterday, Guru Maharaj's class. Chant Hare Krishna, go back home, back to Godhead. Krishna is waiting for us. Very simply put it. Any questions or comments? Anything to add?
I like the way you say, like always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna.
Yeah. All the Vedic literatures. That's what Rupa Goswami said, there's so many regulations. We are going to go crazy if you're going to follow everything. But he made it very simple. He put everything in the Nectar of Devotion, simplified it for us. And then he said, all the Vedic literatures, everything is for just to come to the point. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Somehow or the other, we have to remember Krishna. Somehow or the other, whatever we are doing. We can't stop doing anything. Just somehow or the other related to Krishna. How can I please Krishna? What can I do to make Krishna happy? I'm always thinking to make myself happy. Well, let me think how Krishna is doing so much for me. What can I do to make Krishna happy? What's going to please him? We can use our mind like that. Yeah.
And then we forget that pleasing Krishna is so easy.
Yeah.
It's so easy because he gets pleased even if we offer a simple tulsi leaf on his lotus feet, just a flower. We don't have to do anything very, I don't have to go and buy something. I can just offer the fruits that I'm eating, the tulsi leaf, and the tulsi plant is there. So Tulsi Ma is so grateful. Like Tulsi Ma is so merciful that though she is the one who pleases Krishna, but then she gives us the opportunity that through her, we get the credit.
So right. So true. So true. And also the easiest way, as you said, to please Krishna is chant the Hare Krishna mantra.
Chanting is.
That's free of cost.
Yes, that's free of cost. Exactly.
Very free of cost. You have nothing. Just chant Hare Krishna mantra. That's the easiest way to please Krishna. That's the Yuga Dharma. That's what we just need to do that,
But sometimes it's so wonderful that how merciful he is, that even just if we bow down and we are blessed, he offers us as an offering. He accepts us as an offering when we just bow down before him.
Yes, that is
he's
Krishna.
So merciful, and just thanking him, and he's so accepting that. So I mean, and he is the only one person throughout your life that when you commit mistakes, he's still standing by you and he accepts you. After you commit mistake, then also he accepts you when you say sorry. He's not like even if your parents, when we say sorry, we have done some mistake to them and we say sorry, then yes, she will come and hug me, but it will take her some time. Because we did that mistake, right?
Yes.
But then Krishna and Radharani are the ones who doesn't even take that time. They're not thinking only. They're just that you are my. Doesn't matter what mistake you have done. I don't care. It's okay. You're always mine.
Yes, so true. Thank you.
So merciful.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Krishna loves us a lot. We just have to realize how much he loves us.
Yeah.
And how much we love him. We are always, we just have to realize how much he loves us, how much he cares about us. We are not able to understand. But the more we hear and chant, the more we hear about him from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, chant his holy name, the more we will realize that he really loves us,
Yesterday, there just came across Nitai Sevni Mataji. She posted a small note, and it read that if you are, I'll read the exact ones. She said that if you are too much disturbed with this world, that means you are spending more time with the world and less time with Krishna. Dr. Nitai Sevni Mataji.
Oh, so well put.
It was so beautiful when I read it. That why are you disturbed? Why? That means you're spending more time with the world. You're not thinking about Krishna. You're thinking about the world.
So well put. Yeah.
Very
So
true. Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
I'll put this in the group today morning.
Okay.
She just shared yesterday. So yeah.
Yeah, because the same mind, very well put, because the same mind we are using to think of material things. We think of material things, it gives us misery. The same mind we think, how can I please Krishna? It gives us happiness, and that means fixing our mind at the lotus feet of Krishna. Then it becomes like an umbrella. We were hearing yesterday in our class. Krishna's lotus feet are like an umbrella. There is miseries raining cats and dogs. You know how the rains cats and dogs?
Yeah.
But then Krishna's lotus feet is like an umbrella which shelters us from this rain of misery. Just thinking of Krishna always, chanting his name. Thank you. Thank you so much for all your participation, all your beautiful.
All glories to you and Nitai Sevni Mataji and all the gurus.
All glories to Shilpa Prabhupada, all glories to all the assembled devotees. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande. Hari Bol.